Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I have not been able to find my Facebook to go live. So it's like either I can't find YouTube or I can't find Facebook. One or the other is going to mess me up. So, anyway, I figured I better start here before I get too late. And today's topic is quartz. Clear quartz, smoky quartz, and rutilated quartz. And the beauty with these crystals is I will show you some of them from my personal collection. And as I talk about them, I'm going to bring them up just so that you can see what they look like. This is one of my larger pieces. This is also one of my larger pieces. You can see how large it is. And this one, as if I take it into the sunlight, and you can see all the occlusions inside of it, I think I've counted like 27 rainbows in this piece. Very, very special piece. These are clear quartz. And more examples of clear quartz are what I call my warheads, because they kind of all remind me of warheads, and just a really, really pretty piece of crystal. This is a little bit unusual. This is a clear one, but it's wrapped in copper. And copper has its own properties that is going to be used and utilized, but we're not going to talk about that today. And there are several just small pieces that I have. I have other clear ones, but these are what I call milky crystals. So, anyway, um, if I want to have individual pieces, this is about the size that I like. They're about an inch and a half uh, deep. So the beauty with quartz is that there is something that inside of the crystal itself that transforms the mechanical energy into electromagnetic energy. That's why they are so important in microphones, in watches, and radios, and transmitters of all types. Um, the several type of crystals that have special functions. Most of the clear quartz, there's about maybe 20 different functions. I'm not going to go over all of them. You wouldn't remember them, but I'm going to go over the ones that meant something to me. The one that was the most important to me was where I had 7 facets, and every single time you run your finger and the angle changes, even a slight bit, that's called a facet. If you have 7 facets, that's called a channeling crystal, because that will amplify the words coming in from spirit. So if I'm channeling and I'm sitting there writing, I like to arrange actually all the crystals around my living room, because I generally channel in my living room, so that that seven-sided face beams right at me. Just it's really neat the way that works. But, you know, from whether they're sitting on the window, whether they're sitting on a coffee table next to me, or whether they're sitting on a space across from me, that seven-sided face is beaming towards me. And I I hear very clear I very clearly hear my guides. So that's not a problem. I did find out today as I was reviewing this presentation, and the book I use is The Book of Stones by Robert Simmons and Neisha ASEAN, which is Naisha backwards. And and again, I've said this before, but the reason I choose this book versus all the other books that are out there is because they used the deva, the angelic being that lives inside the particular crystal that they were working with. Both of them worked with the deva, and their information came direct from that. And of course, they had to do some technological research too, and everything. But the beauty with quartz is that clear quartz is and rutilated quartz work with all the chakras. Smoky quartz, which is one that I'm going to cover today, works with the root chakra. So, another facet of clear quartz that I wanted to go over with you is that if you get a five-sided section that has five sides, and that is you're working with the elements. You're working with the earth, air, fire, water, and storm. So if you're doing work with Mother Earth, it's very, very this crystal will help you. And I found out another interesting thing that if you find, because so far all the crystals that I have one seven-sided fast side to it. But if you find one with two and they're separated by a perfect triangle on each side, that's called an integration crystal. So it has an ability to whatever it is that you're working on manifesting, because most of the time, uh, crystals are used to assist people in manifesting whatever it is that they're after. So, whatever it is that you're working on manifesting, it will like amplify it. It's going to uh, take it and work with the angelic being to bring it into your life. And so the integration, the its transmission is also balancing between the spiritual knowledge and the uh, uh, the action plan that you have to put into place to bring that whatever it is that you want to bring forward. I do have a personal example from my own history. At the time that the Celestine prophecy was out there in every bookstore, maybe hundreds of copies in every bookstore, and it was flying off the shelves. I think millions of books were um, sold. One of the people that I knew at the time, an acquaintance that I kind of lost touch with, but she said to me, I could have written that book in 10 minutes. And the irony was, after listening to her story, I recognized she had written that book because she channeled every single day between even 2, 3 hours a day, which was when I was in the process of writing Own Your Power. That's exactly what I was doing. And that book was written. She had it in her notes. The difference was between um, the author of Celestine Prophecy, which I think was James Redfield. He released it. She didn't. She held on to the information. He released it. So effectively, just know that when you're being called by spirit to do something, absolutely answer that call, because you trying to buck it isn't doing the world a favor. Each one of us has something special to bring to spirit, to bring to the earth, to bring to our fellow man. And we just need to be okay with whatever it is that our ego is telling us is going to happen to us that's not good for us. We've got to override the ego. And anyway, that's going to be the topic of next week's talk: ego mind versus spirit mind. Smoky quartz is a quartz that is just like it says, smoky, it's dark. And goes this is good for the root chakra. This is a very grounding energy. And but it has also a very practical side to it. If you're in the process, it's very good with organization. So if you need to balance your checkbook, if you're working on your taxes, if you're working on any kind of issue that involves number, this is a very good crystal to have very close to you, because it is going to help pro- and protect you against negative energy, and also protect you from unspoken resentments, and will dispel any bad mood. Who's in a good mood doing taxes? Practically nobody. So it'll help dispel that. It also it protects you from any negative energy that's thrown around you, and any suppressed conflict that you may have had within you. So even a little one like this is very powerful. And sometimes these little guys can be had for like four, five, six, seven, $8, sometimes less, um, depending upon where you purchase them. Uh, the last one that I wanted to cover was called Rutilated. And Rutilated is it again works with all the chakras. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it looks like it has gold lines running through it. So I'm not sure the camera's sharp enough to pick this up, but it's a very sweet, has a very sweet energy, and it's a crystal of manifestation, especially when it comes to your career. It also has to do with prosperity and adventure. It's programmable. You can attach your, well, actually, I guess you can program any crystal, but this one is especially susceptible to programming. You can enter into the consciousness of the crystal and install your program, provided it has the radiance of light in it. None of these crystals are going to work with hexes or spells or anything where you want to override another person's will. There are people that are practicing that on this planet, and overriding a person's will is not going to make it. So, anyway, if you have anything that you want to know, uh, will this rutilated crystal will bring it to you faster, and it also has it. It helps you to know good and bad vibes. When you have good vibes or bad vibes, this will bring it. It's kind of like it just amplifies it for you, so that you're real clear that this is something I should do, this is something I should stay away from. And the rutilated crystal also, even though it's little, I mean, I haven't seen many big ones. I've seen only small ones. Um, the it makes the other crystals turbocharged. So it is it's just a wonderful addition to your collection. And like I had said earlier, in all the crystal presentations that I do, you do not have to own every single thing that you're attracted to. Learn the properties of it and then call in the name, call in the energy. I mean, there's many, many crystals out there that have such vital energy and periodic. What I thought I would do is give you an example of crystals and then work on some of the other stuff that I like to talk about and that I have had personal experience with and per, just am very interested in. So there was one last thing that I want to leave you with before I close this is that all these crystals, the rutilated and the clear quartz, in which clear is that cloudy too. Think of the AAA. They work with attunements, they work with amplification, and they work with acceleration. So, attunements, I know that every single time I've attuned my Reiki students to Reiki 1, 2, or 3, or Reiki Master Teacher, I have told them that from this point on, their own guides would come in and attune them to other bands of energy, other levels of energy. So there's thousands of them. And you don't have to have a course to be attuned by an angelic being. And there are some other I can remember, I think I was working at Mountain Mystic when one of the shamans walked in and she offered a course with all the archangels and where she attuned the people. And it took place over, I think, 3 sessions. And it was just beautiful. It was 3 hours long. So she did an hour each time and she had a special program for that. Uh, just again, the different archangels. And I've always felt very, very close to the angels and the archangels. So it's very clear and very happy to get that. But I call the angels, archangels, and ascended masters my AAA. Well, there's another way of thinking the AAA: attunement, amplification, acceleration, because clear quartz as well as rutilated quartz will help in amplification of every single thing that you have. I bless you. I thank you for watching. And if you need a meditation book, Own Your Power Day by Day is the best that's on the market. And now, the entire month of March, starting March 5th, which is in today's, I think, what, the 3rd or the 4th? I think it's tomorrow. I think it's the 4th today. So, uh, you, well, starting March 5th through the end of March, March 31st, I have signed up for a program that offers 13 of these books for free on Goodreads. And Goodreads is associated with Amazon. So, and Goodreads is spelled exactly the way it sounds: good, Good, Reads, Goodreads. And so if you go into Goodreads, uh, I'm they absolutely did not say what it takes to win a book. I don't know if it's first come, first serve. I have no idea. Um, they didn't discuss that with us. All I know is that I signed up to give away 13 of these. It was by value of what the book was priced at to begin with, which was $35.99. And most of the time, this book is sold around 24.99. Sometimes on sale, it goes even further, but most of the time, it's around 24.99. So, still a very, very good buy. I do wish you the best. And if you want further information on who I am and what I do, my website is www.alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com. Thank you again. I'll see you next week, and we will be talking about ego mind versus spirit mind. And that's in next week, Friday. Oh, actually, I take it back. Next week, Friday, I'll be on my way to New York. So it will be in 2 weeks that I will see you. Thank you. Bye now.